Welcome back to the final stop. Well, the final movie review in my series called Pick 10 Horror 3 The Reckoning, and we are finishing it off with a movie that is just fucking awesome. From Dusk Till Dawn, this was my first watch. This movie's amazing, let me tell you. When you have a scene where Cheech Marin is standing there with a fake mustache and a fake little wig thing on, yelling out, "Pussy, pussy, 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 pussy." That's basically what he does for like 5 minutes straight. Yelling out. This. And I gotta say, I knew that this was a vampire flick going in. So, there's no jarring twist sort of thing for me when it happens, because I was waiting for it to happen. So that, I knew it was a vampire movie. Hold on. Forgot to turn that off. So, the movie follows the Gecko brothers, Seth and Richie, who are criminals on the run from the law. Beginning of this, they are at a gas station. To rob the gas station, they're just holding it up, and they shoot John Hawkes, and they shoot this Marshall guy, who's apparently in another Tarantino film. I think he's one of the Kill Bills, I think. And then they're on the run with this bank teller, and they stop at a hotel. Richie, off screen, rapes and murders the bank teller. And I like how they framed this. When they go in, they don't show it all. They just show flashes as they're talking. It has them in the frame and just flashes, and then you see it not in frame but behind them. It's kind of just secluded behind them. You don't see the whole full scale of it, so it's really kind of cool. And yeah, if you're watching this for the first time, you didn't know it was a vampire flick, and you go from this gritty Tarantino crime thriller to all of a sudden, boom, vampires. Especially after this scene, the dance scene with Santanico. I don't remember the last name. Played by Salma Hayek. And her dance, ooh, oh boy. I don't know what I can say legally on YouTube, but I just yelled out pussy about 15 times, but 16, so I don't know. But that's so, whoo. Let me tell you, you get a hot out of the collar with this dance. Hide your kids. Although, I heard a lot of stuff about this. Oh, it's the sexiest dance. It is sexy. But I'm a little disappointed. Just a little bit. This dance was built up so much for me. And I'm disappointed just a little bit because no titties. There's other titties, but not her titties. Right? I understand she's a classy actress. She's not going to show them. I get it. But from what was built up, I've heard people talk about this dance. Oh, it's the sexiest dance you ever could see. And she's only half naked. To me, a sexy dance, gotta see a little more nudity. But it is sexy. I'll give credit. It is sexy. Had me going, whoo! And yes, so the performances in this movie are great. You have George Clooney, is probably his best performance. I don't know about ER and The Facts of Life, but no, he's been in more, I guess. Better than Batman. Better than Batman and Robin, that's for sure. Yeah, and Quentin Tarantino, he's not much of an actor. And I know many people, pick on when he gives himself little roles in his movies, but I'd say this and his role as Jimmy in Pulp Fiction are probably two of his best on-camera roles. Because Jimmy I think is a pretty cool, decent character in that film, and in here he's in most of the movie. Didn't like that he turned to a vampire, but I see which way they were going. Like, there was only, I don't know. I think the ending for me was a bit of a letdown. Like, so the whole thing with this family that they kidnap is that there's Harvey Keitel, Juliette Lewis, and this Asian kid named Scott, which is not me. I'm not Asian, but I am Scott. But Scotty, if you please. They kidnap them and they take them. They get him across the border, and he goes to a place called the Titty Twister, and that's where the dance takes place and the vampire thing. And there's another. Well, the Geckos are one story. The other story is Harvey Keitel, rather, plays this priest who's lost his faith since his wife has passed away. And the story about it, story going through. And I think it works, but the fact that he gets bitten and he's going to turn into a vampire, maybe, he's got his faith back, but he was bitten and he's forming a cross. It should burn him. I know he hadn't fully changed yet, but he was bitten. From that moment on, you are a vampire. Whether you have fully changed or not, you are a vampire. He makes a cross, it should burn him instantly. And then he is there working with stuff like holy water. He blesses the holy water. That shouldn't work. Look, I'm not an expert on such things, but once you are bitten, you are essentially fucked. You are essentially a vampire. Even if you're a priest, especially if you're a priest, you can no longer bless water and make it holy. You are not a holy person anymore. You are an undead creature from hell. I feel like he should have gotten bitten after that part. Because to me, he got bitten and he's back there blessing the water. So I'm like, oh, I see the twist is it's not going to work because he's bitten, he's not. But they throw it and it melts the vampire's face. I'm like, no, that shouldn't work. He's not a man of God anymore. I know he hadn't turned yet, but he was bitten. And I'm trying to tell you, once you are bitten, I've seen Supernatural enough. Once you are bitten, that's it. You are not yourself anymore. You are not who you were. Whether you completely turned or not, it's not you anymore. He's not a man of God. And yet he's still able to bless the water. He's still able to touch holy water. He's still able to, do all that stuff. Hold the cross without burning his hands. It just doesn't make any sense to me. But I'm going to dismiss it because this was a fun movie. It's a movie. You're not supposed to take it seriously. It's like Evil Dead. And by the end, there are only 2 characters left. And the choice of characters left doesn't really make any sense. Like Seth and what's her name? Juliette Lewis's character. There are only ones left. And Seth gives her some money and says, "Oh, you can't come with me. Do you know where I'm going? You know what the El Rey is?" And he doesn't tell her what it is. It just drives off, and she gets in her the RV, her dad's RV, and drives off. How'd you get the keys? Didn't her dad have the keys? When you turned into a vampire, how'd you get the keys? You didn't leave the keys in there. How'd you get the keys? She drives off, and then we see that it's a Aztec pyramid thing that the Titty Twister was built on. Okay, not sure what that means, but okay. Cheech Marin plays 3 different characters in this. He plays a Border Patrol guy, he plays the pussy guy, and then he plays Carlos, the guy that he's going to meet, which in the TV series is played by Faith himself, Wilder Valderrama, rather. But, yeah, I've seen a little bit of the TV series. But, yeah, once the vampire shit starts, I think that's the best part. You got full on, got gore. I've heard people talk about the gore in this, and I understand that Nicotero, or Robert Kurtzman, Nicotero, whatever, wanted to do the effects in this. And yes, they are a little dated, I'll give them that. But they are still pretty good. I just didn't understand. You got Tom Savini to play Sex Machine. a guy who has a gun for a dick. He uses it once, and it is pretty cool. But you have Tom Savini in this film, and you don't utilize his special effects expertise. You know, maybe he did some little work, but I don't know. He's pretty good in this, and I like when he's turning to vampires. He's like messing with his, you know, he's not telling anybody that he's turning, which he should have. You also have Fred Williamson, which he was in VFW, and he's pretty cool in this. But yeah, the vampire stuff is just fantastic. Once that starts, I don't know about the look of the vampires. They kind of remind me of the Sycorax from Doctor Who. That's what they remind me of, the Sycorax. Sycorax? The little red pod things? The Sycorax. That's what it remind me of. But I tell you what, I really enjoyed this movie. It was a thrill ride from beginning to end. From the beginning with the John Hawkes stuff to the end with the vampires and everything. And the music and everything. Look, I know I pointed out some flaws, but I can't. I cannot disgrace this movie by giving it any more than doing anything better than taking this movie and flying it to the moon, because this is a perfect 10 out of 10 for me. It's a fantastic film. I didn't think there would be 10 out of 10 films in this big. I thought this was going to be an 8 or a 9, but no, I really enjoyed this. I loved this movie. It gets a 10. I really don't know which one's going to be number 1, to be honest, but that's a ranking that's going to come later. But, so what are your thoughts on From Dusk Till Dawn? Do you like it as much as I do? Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. I don't need to pick because that's the last one. Thank you for watching. I've been Scotty. We just finished the review part of Pick 10 Horror 3, The Reckoning. Stay tuned for my ranking. I don't know if it'll be later on today because it's coming out on a Tuesday, or if it'll be on Wednesday. Who knows? But till then, I'll see you.